Hello everybody, hope you are all well. I just thought I would update you a little bit on what happened with my Christmas craft fair. So that happened on Sunday. Oh, here comes Bailey. Are you coming to come and sit on my knee? Come on then. Come and sit. Don't come and get in the way. Come on, come and sit on my knee. Sorry about this. Come on. No, you're just going to sit there, are you? Honestly, he leaves me alone completely until I start filming, and then you just want to be here. Come on. Do something, yes? He's a bit of a grumpy cat as well, so you can't just pick him up and move him, otherwise he gets a bit... Come on. Meow. There we go. Right, before I was so rudely interrupted, craft fair this weekend, this Sunday, went really, really well. Much better than I had hoped for. We raised... For CAP, we raised 3 times as much as I was expecting. I was absolutely delighted. I sold a lot of stuff on my stall. I came away with more money than I was expecting to, but because I made so much, I still have a lot left. So I just thought you might be interested to know what sold well and what didn't. So our church has, it's quite a young church, as in the average age is quite young. We have a lot of quite young children. So I'd aimed a lot of my things at them because I thought, you know, basically what happens at these events, kids that give them, parents give them a £5 and say, just go and buy some stuff or something. And obviously a £5 or a £10 or whatever doesn't really go that far. So I wanted to make sure that there was lots of things that they could buy. So things that went really well on the stalls were all my very little toys. In fact, that... I'm just looking in the box here. I think that is pretty much the only one that's left. I was a bit surprised though. Nobody bought my little people. And I wonder if it was because they weren't brightly coloured. Everything I make tends to be very brightly coloured. And these were perhaps a little, they didn't quite fit with the stall quite so well maybe. I think they're super cute, but maybe don't appeal to kids as much as I was hoping. Other things that went really well were my little cork people. I don't think I showed you this on the last video I did. I love these. They're so simple to do. It's just a cork and I've dressed it. There we go. So I've just made a little jumper and a little hat. I'm sure I've talked about it before on here. Is a pattern. The pattern is called Korknisse. Korknisse. That's cork people in... can't remember, something Scandinavian, I can't remember, or it might be Dutch, sorry, don't know. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I've made lots of them over the years. Some of them, what I've done is I've glued the hats and the jumpers on and then run a string through the top of them and make it into a little hanging, which has also gone down very well. But I didn't do that this time. I just did the little individual ones and sold them for £1 each, and kids just loved them. I sold loads of those. My little tree decorations, which I showed you last time, again I sold quite a lot of those. I think I've only got a couple left of those. So they did really well. I also sold a few of my little wash bag things, but they only sold to people when I'd picked them up and explained what they were. I think it wasn't obvious enough, and if I was too busy on the stall and people just looked at them, didn't quite see what they were, and then, you know, missed sort of, you know, moved on, if you like. I sold a few of my cards, excuse me for the rustling. I sold a few of my painted cards that I did, but not as many as I had hoped, and I didn't sell any of my button ones. These were just very simple ones that I had made, and I think they may be too simple. Perhaps they weren't attractive enough. But what did surprise me was that I didn't sell any of these ones, my big button ones. And again, I wonder if it was because they didn't come with a, you know, cellophane envelope, so perhaps they just didn't look as well finished. That was because the cellophane envelopes that I ordered 3 weeks ago are still in the post and are now apparently lost. So probably turn up sometime in March or something, or probably not at all, no, my luck. But anyway, they weren't there when I needed them. I didn't sell any of my pictures, not a single one. I sold loads of hats, lots and lots of hats. I sold a couple of scarves. I sold a blanket. No, I sold 2 blankets. And I didn't sell any cushions. So, but all in all, no, I think it went pretty well. Oh, and the bookmarks that I did, I don't remember whether I showed you these or not. So these were bookmarks I made with a Bible verse on, and which I then laminated. And it's got my name on the back. Oh look, I'm showing you backwards again just for a change. So yeah, so I sold the bookmarks. I sold 8 out of 12 that I'd made of those. So I was really pleased with that. Super busy on the store. Oh, and I sold most of my little chocolate orange covers, which I did tell you about last time. So yeah, I was really pleased. It did go really well. I did sell quite a lot of stuff. I was really busy the whole time that we were running. There were the 2 girls from our church, 2 teenage girls, sisters, who had made lots of jewellery, and they had done really, really well as well. I was so pleased for them because they were so excited to do it. They're only sort of younger teenagers, sort of 14, 15. And they did a lovely job. They made some beautiful stuff, and you know, lots of people came away very happy from that. And then we had a baking store which did really well. Baking stores always do well, don't they? So yeah, great success. It was really good fun. Everybody's asking me when I'm doing the next one. I don't know. Everybody's saying you could do a summer one. I'm like, it's an awful lot of work. I don't know. Don't forget, I do have long COVID. I'm limited amount of energy. So anyway, we'll see. But great success. So now that the fair is over, I'm starting to think about my next projects that I'm going to do. So I picked up my jumper again. I'll just bring this over. Picked up my jumper again. I keep it in my Harry Potter bag. I love this. I think this came from Primark actually. So this sweater is one, I don't think I've brought the pattern through. I think I might have left the pattern in the other room. Oh no, it's there. Hang on, I'll show you in a second. Oops. Sorry, very professional. Of course, everything's to hand. Let me see if I can find the picture. I think I've only got a tiny picture though on this one. Let's have a look. Oh, there it is. There we go. Picture there. So I was sort of inspired by Penrose Knits jumper. What's it called? It's a chunky knit jumper and it has a frill round. I can't remember the name of it. If I remember, I'll put it on, or I'll put it in the notes or something at the end. And I really wanted to do that one, but the wool I had was Aran and I didn't have chunky, and I wanted to use this particular yarn. So in the end, I looked to see what else I could find, and I found the drops pattern online. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do that. So I have done most of the body, and I'm down to the ribbing at the bottom. It's got some flubs in the wool, like it's got these little white bits, and I'd left them in, but now I'm not so sure. I might pick that one out, I think, because it's a bit, yeah, a bit too obvious, isn't it? And I'm also a little bit unsure about the increases along here. I think those ones won't show so much because of the frills going to be on them, but I'm really not sure about these ones. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe it'll block out, or maybe it won't look so noticeable when I've got it on. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just not care anymore. Who knows? So interestingly, for the very bottom ones, I did follow the pattern as to how to do them. And look, you can see they've got a hole where it was done, whereas when I sort of did it my own way, there isn't a hole. Who knows? Right, okay. So I'm quite happy with it though. The colour is not showing up very well on here because it's making it look a bit beige or grey actually, but it's actually a really lovely lilac colour. You'll have to take my word for it. So I'm still on ball number 1. I've still got that much left. I think I'm literally going to just get into ball number 2. not maybe a bit more than just actually, but still I think I'm going to have an awful lot of ball number 2 left over. So I'll have to think about what I'm going to do with that. Oh, I had this most awful situation though, because I got to here, and then I started knitting down, and I knitted all the way down to here where I needed to increase a few in order to then move down a needle size so that the rib doesn't pull in, because that's how it is on this pattern. And I realised when I did my increases that I didn't have enough stitches, and I thought, what on earth's going on? Where have I dropped stitches? And I realised I was actually 25 stitches short, and I thought something's gone really wrong here. Anyway, I looked back and I realised I'd missed an increase row. I'd missed this increase row back here. I was absolutely, oh no, another one. There's another increase row just underneath here. I was gutted, absolutely gutted. I had to pull all of this back. And then of course it got too close to the fair, and I had so many other things to do that I had to put it all on one side. So it's taken me quite a while to get back to where I was. In fact, I only got back there yesterday. And now I've sort of moved on to the ribbing. So I was doing the ribbing last night and this morning. That progress keeper is I put that on this morning. So that's how much rib I did earlier on today. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it. And of course, before I started doing the ribbing, I thought I better just double check, because also I wanted to check for the length as well before I started ribbing, make sure it was long enough. And in fact, actually, I did do an extra 7 centimeters on, because I don't like sweaters too short, too much of a muffin top, you know. So I did try it on, and fortunately now it does fit around the middle quite generously, and I'm really pleased about that, because I didn't want it to be too tight. So that's that one. Just put on the chair. Then my next project that I'm going to do, a friend's asked me to make her a pair of socks. She wanted a pair of cashmere socks. Now the problem with cashmere, of course, is that it's not really a good thing for socks, because it wears out very easily. So you have to mix it with other things. Trying to explain this to a non-knitter is quite tricky. They're like, no, I just want pure cashmere. And I'm like, literally, you walk across the floor in it and you will wear holes in it. It's just not, you need to mix it with something else. So anyway, we had the discussion, and because I did say to her, this yarn that I've chosen, it's only got 10% cashmere, but you'll know about it. You really will. They will be so soft. And originally she'd asked me to knit a pair in black. Oh my goodness. I really don't like knitting in black. I don't like black anyway. I don't wear black. I don't have anything black in my house, I don't think. But I was like, well, that's what she likes. She's a good friend. I really wanted to knit, some really nice socks for her. Anyway, I couldn't find black, but I did find this, which is this sort of steel grey, and then this much darker grey here. And it's actually, I think that's quite a nice colour, and it makes a nice stripe when it's knitted up. So I showed that to her. She said, oh yes, that's fine. So this is Superba by Rico, Kashmiri sock, luxury sock yarn, and it is 65% wool, 25% polyamide, and 10% cashmere. So this should last, I think. So she just wants a plain pair of socks. So that's not going to be my next sock project. I have got another pair of socks on the go at the moment. I'm trying to remember. It's such a long time since I picked them up. I'm trying to remember how far I got with them. I'm not sure. But anyway, so that's going to be the next thing that's online. No, I'll tell you about my next pattern. So my next one that I'm going to do after I've done those is a jumper for my youngest. So they've been asking for a jumper for ages, and in fact we did some swatches in the summer, and got them all out, and all the colours, we tried them all out. We decided what we were going to do, and in fact I've just realised I've left it upstairs, so I'm going to go and get it and show you, because there's not really much point me talking about it if you can't see what I'm talking about. Bear with. Right, okay, so this is the jumper that my youngest has chosen. I really like this pattern because it's got, these are all like different animal footprints on it. And we spent quite a long time playing with different colours. Sorry about the rustling. And we tried a few different combinations just to see what worked with the pattern and with the colour changes and what have you. And we did this one, and we did this one. Unfortunately, because we did it back in the summer, I can't remember which one we decided on. So I think we might need to have a conversation to decide which one we're going for. I'm fairly certain it was one of these, but not sure which. So we'll have to sort of have a look and do that. But once I've decided, this is an Aran weight jumper. So what we're going to do is it's in Stylecraft special yarn. The good thing about Stylecraft is it's not too expensive. It washes really well. It doesn't pill particularly. I've made a few jumpers for my kids out of Stylecraft, and it does really well. It does really well. So we'll have a look at that together, and we'll work out exactly what colours, what colourway they want, and I shall get going with that once I finish my lilac jumper with my frill. And then while I was upstairs collecting that, I remembered I'd put out on my bed some more yarn because I've been sort of planning another project. So I made, now I'm trying to remember the name of the jumper. I think it's called Driftwood, and if it is called Driftwood, you'll know pretty much exactly what I mean. It has a sort of a fairly wide round neck. It has buttons halfway down, and it's in lots of stripes. And I made myself one about, oh gosh, it must be about 8 years ago now, just from scraps that I had lying around. Really bright and cheerful. I used red for the collar and the cuffs, and lots of bright colours in, and it looked lovely. And then I thought, actually, I think I quite like to do something that's a little bit more muted. So and I had in mind some yarn that so I'm just looking out the window because there's a cat going by, and I was just checking it was one of mine. It was. So yes, I had in mind to use a particular skein of yarn which I had, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I couldn't find it anywhere at all. Anyway, I've now come to the conclusion that I knit a hat with it, and I've sold it. So that's fine. That's absolutely fine. It needed using anyway. So anyway, without more ado, anyway, let me show you what I've picked out to do this. Some of these yarns are DK, some are Aran, but they're quite a fine Aran, if you know what I mean. So I think once I knit it all on 4mm needles, I think it will be fine. So I've got this yarn. Again, you can't really see the colours too well in this light, but as you can see, it's got some lovely, it's dark colours, but then lots of teal in there as well. So I've got a couple of these, and in fact, actually, I think somewhere I've got a skein that's not been wound into a cake as well. So again, that's that same colour. They're from the same dye lot. And then I've got this beautiful pink, which is also, look at that. Now again, that colour is not showing up. I mean, it is pink, but it's not like pink like this is showing it. It's more of a raspberry pink. And I think the two, again, this light is not doing it any favours. These two actually go really nicely together. And then just to sort of offset those colours, I've got these, which are a lovely bluey grey. And again, they look completely grey in this light, but actually they're almost a bluey colour. So again, they look really nice together. Take my word for it, honestly, they do. I'm not sure. And then just to sort of throw another few colours in the mix, I've got this sort of teal colour. That actually is looking fairly true. It's a bit darker than that. And then I've got some cream as well. So In fact, look, I've got more there as well. So this is West Yorkshire Spinners, Air Valley DK, and I've also got an Air Valley Aran there as well. And then I've got a couple of Drops Nepal. So I'm going to see how I get on with these. It may be that the weights are too variable, so we will see. The pink is a Malabrigo yarn. I always want to call it Malabrigo, called Arroya, and that it says you can knit on 4mm needles. I don't know that I've got any. I don't think I have any ball bands for any of the other ones. They're just things that they're all things that people have given me over the years. So they're you know, leftovers from a big project, or stuff where they've bought it and then said, oh, I'm never going to use this. But they're all really nice yarns, and they feel lovely. So I think it would be really nice, and it's quite a sort of a muted palette for me. Although, you know, obviously there's the teal in there, but still I think it's quite muted compared to what I usually knit. So I think that might be quite nice. So we'll see. I might do a swatch and see what it looks like with the stripes, and see how much I want to, you know, vary them and things. I'm not very good at random when it comes to things like that. I think I'd have to have them in a pattern or something. Watch this space. We'll see what happens. So last thing that I was going to tell you about was I thought I'd show you an old I was going to say an old knit, but it's actually an old crochet. So I made this pair of crochet gloves, these crochet mitts. I made them, oh gosh, these must be going on for 12 years old, I think. And I made them from leftover bits of sock yarn from when I'd first started making socks. So please bear in mind how old they are and how well used they've been when you see, because they are really definitely past their best. I think probably to give them to their best effect, I will put them on and then you can see them. So again, this is a free pattern. I can't remember what it is, but I will look it up and I will post it on here. Again, the light is not great in here, so you can't see, but I sort of mix, you can see where I've mixed sort of the duller or the more sort of, you know, backgroundy colours with the brighter ones. And then it has this lovely sort of picot edging, you can see on there. And then down the sides, oh, I love this. It's got little buttons. This is so cute. And I actually managed to find sort of like a rainbow of buttons. I was so pleased with that. And they do actually undo, you know, these are proper little buttonholes, but it is sewn up the sides. Obviously you can see here there's like, you know, there's no join there, as it were. So it's sorry, there's no gap there, there is just a join, so the buttons are just for decorations. But I just love the look of them. I think they're lovely. There you go, you can see that. So yeah, they're very old, they're very tired, as you can see, but I absolutely love them. But I think I do need to knit myself a replacement pair. And obviously now I have a massive collection of sock yarn leftovers, so I could quite easily do them. I was hoping to do some for the craft fair, but I didn't actually get around to it. So that's where I am just now. That's what I have been up to. I've literally not done anything else except sleep, eat and breathe craft fair. So now that it is all over, I'm going to start getting back into my normal crafting mode, I think. I haven't knitted or crocheted anything for anybody for Christmas this year. I hope they understand. I did, but I have been knitting things for people during the year as well. I knitted some socks for my auntie and her partner last Christmas, and then I knitted her some more socks for her birthday this summer because it was her 80th. But I think everybody else, I think most of the people that actually want knitted stuff actually knit. I've knit my partner a jumper as well, and I knitted him a hat. and I knitted him and his daughter some socks as well. So so yeah, I have done some other things during the year. It's just nobody's getting anything for Christmas this year. I think I'm knitted out in terms of knitting things. I just feel like I need to do a bit of selfish knitting now. So I'm going to get this lilac jumper done, and then I'm going to do the jumper for my youngest kid. That's the one with the animal hoofs, the animal prints on, and then and then maybe think about my my new driftwood sweater, and of course I will be doing the socks in and amongst as well, because I always have a pair of socks on the go anyway. So I think that's all I've got to tell you for now, and so hopefully I will see you again soon. I'm not doing Vlogmas this year, too much work, but I'm really enjoying watching all the Vlogmas stuff that's going on, and I'm really excited to see how many new watchers I've got, how many new subscribers I have. It's really lovely. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed and whoever likes my videos. Please leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. It's really nice to be able to engage with you all. And hopefully I will see you again soon. And maybe next time I might actually remember to do a bit of an introduction rather than just getting overexcited and talking about the wall all the time, because I realise I never tell you who I am or why I'm here or anything. Sorry. Maybe it's not that interesting anyway. Anyway, I've got to go. Have a lovely Christmas, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Bye bye.